Hey, Minoki YouTube, welcome back to a new video with Rams Fan YT. In today's video, I will be looking at what my team would be if it was the old, if I had a football team now. Although it doesn't directly include any Irish players, I have included ones who originally played for the youth team of Ireland and later changed allegiance to England, which has annoyed a lot of people in Ireland. This is I think I'm gonna do a few more episodes along this line. I don't know which ones necessarily I'm gonna do, but I'm potentially thinking of something like Yugoslavia or USSR if they had a football team now, or something like Czechoslovakia or Nazi Germany. I could really take it down any avenue. I think this would be a really interesting experiment. What sort of starting 11? And I wouldn't actually choose a starting 11. I'm choosing a 26-man squad. I'm going to leave it up to you below in the comments section below. You can disagree with who I've picked, but the challenge really is from the ones I've chosen to sort of pick a starting 11. So I've gone for 3 goalkeepers. Well, that tends to be quite a normal amount. I've gone with 11 defenders because they're quite popular, actually, it turns out, across the UK. I've based it on an average of the 5 nations of England, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland, and Ireland to form these out. 6 midfielders and 6 forwards. The whole island of Ireland isn't really represented because it is best starting 11, well, best 26, really. Goalkeeper 1, Jordan Pickford. On the 24th of August 2017, Pickford was called up to the England squad by manager Gareth Southgate for 2 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Malta and Slovakia. However, he later withdrew from the squad due to injury. Pickford made his debut in a friendly on the 10th of November 2017, starting as England drew 0-0 with Germany at Wembley Stadium. Pickford was named in the 23-man England national team squad for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. And by the way, we're having none of this stuff which we have in Olympics of they have to be like under 23 or semi-pro or something. No, they can be fully fledged players. He started the opening match against Tunisia, which England won 2-1. And in their round of 16 match on the 3rd of July, Pickford helped England beat Colombia 4-3 on penalties after a 1-1 draw, saving from Carlos Bacca to claim his nation's first World Cup penalty shootout victory and a place in the quarter-final. On the 7th of July 2018, Pickford kept his first clean sheet of the World Cup and was named man of the match, as England knocked out Sweden with a 2-0 win in the quarter-finals. The result earned England a place in the semi-finals of the World Cup for the first time since 1990. In June 2019, Pickford scored and then saved the decisive penalty as England beat Switzerland to finish 3rd at the inaugural UEFA Nations League finals. It was the second penalty shootout in a row that England had won, with Pickford saving penalties in both. And it became the first goalkeeper to take and score a penalty in a competitive shootout for England, even just to take one, actually. On the 1st of June 2021, Pickford was named in the 26-man squad for the rescheduled UEFA Euros 2020. At the tournament, Pickford became the first goalkeeper in history to keep clean sheets in the first 5 games of the European Championship. On the 7th of July 2021, Pickford set an all-time England record for the most consecutive scoreless minutes posted by a goalkeeper. He set the mark of 120 minutes midway through the first half of the Euro 2020 semi-final against Denmark, passing a record previously held by Gordon Banks of 720 minutes. On the 11th of July 2021, Pickford saved 2 of Italy's penalties during the shootout in the final. However, England lost 3-2 after missing their last 3 penalties. Goalkeeper 2, I've gone with Aaron Ramsdale. On the 25th of May 2021, Ramsdale was called up as part of Gareth Southgate's 33-man provisional senior squad for the delayed UEFA Euros 2020. However, he was not named in the final 26-man squad, with goalkeepers Dean Henderson, Sam Johnston and Jordan Pickford being selected ahead of him. But he was called up to the squad 1 game into the tournament after Henderson withdrew with an injury. Ramsdale made his debut for the senior squad, starting in a 10-0 away victory against San Marino during the 2022 World Cup qualifiers on the 15th of November 2021. Goalkeeper 3, Dean Henderson. On the 8th of October 2019, Henderson was called up to the senior England squad for the first time by manager Gareth Southgate as a replacement for the injured Tom Heaton. He made his debut on the 12th of November 2020 when he came on at half-time to replace Nick Pope in a 3-0 win over the Republic of Ireland in a friendly. Henderson was named as a member of England's 26-man squad for the delayed Euro 2020 and allocated the number 13 shirt. However, he withdrew due to a hip injury after the first game, and was replaced by Aaron Ramsdale. England lost the final to Italy and finished in second place. On to defenders, although I would say for goalkeepers, an honourable mention does go to the, goalkeeper for Wales, Wayne Hennessy. I thought he was absolutely outstanding in that match which they played in the World Cup qualifiers. Really, probably man of the match, keeping them in it. But I think because he's third choice goalkeeper to Burnley slightly negates against him. Well, defender 1, got to be Trent Alexander-Arnold for me. I don't know why I didn't get picked more for England. In March 2018, while part of the under-21s team, Alexander-Arnold was invited to train with the senior national team for the first time ahead of their friendly matches against Italy and the Netherlands. He received his first call-up in May 2018 when he was named in Gareth Southgate's squad for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. His debut followed on the 7th of June 2018 when he started in a 2-0 pre-tournament friendly over Costa Rica at Ellen Road. Prior to the match, he was handed his match jersey by Prince William, Duke of Cambridge. Alexander-Arnold then made his debut in the competition on the 28th of June, starting in a 1-0 group stage defeat to Belgium. After both sides had already confirmed their progression to the knockout stages, and in doing so, he became only the 4th teenager to start a match for England at a World Cup. It remained, however, his only appearance, as Kieran Trippier was preferred at right back and featured throughout as England were defeated by Croatia in the semi-finals, and then again by Belgium in the third place playoff. On the 15th of November 2018, during an friendly international held in honour of Wayne Rooney, Alexander-Arnold scored his first senior international goal as England recorded a 3-0 win over the United States at Wembley Stadium. In doing so, at the age of 20 years and 39 days, he became the youngest player from Liverpool since Michael Owen in 1999 to score for the national team. In June 2019, he was part of the England squad, which ended third at the inaugural UEFA Nations League and played the full match in a penalty shootout win over Switzerland in the third place playoff. 2 years later, he was named in England's 26-man squad for the 2020 UEFA European Championship, but was forced to withdraw 8 days before competition commenced after sustaining a thigh injury during a pre-tournament friendly against Austria. Defender 2, Andrew Robertson. So the first one outside of England, we're going up north of the border into Scotland. I would argue he probably is Scotland's best player. And Robertson was first selected by the Scotland under-21s team in October 2013. He made his debut as a substitute in a 2-1 win against Slovakia. Robertson was scheduled for the under-21s team in November 2015 as the full national team did not have a fixture. Anyhow, Robertson was first named in the full Scotland squad for a friendly against Poland on the 5th of March 2014. He came on as a substitute in the second half as Scotland won 1-0 in Warsaw. Scotland manager Gordon Strachan said afterwards, and he came on there, and for the first time he picked it up and drove about 30 yards. I thought that's fantastic. Absolutely no grey area. I'm going to do what I do. I loved seeing that first touch. Robertson made his first start from the national team in a 2-2 draw with Nigeria on the 28th of May 2014. Robertson scored his first international goal in a friendly against England, of all teams, at Celtic Park in November 2014, scoring Scotland's only goal as they were beaten 3-1. On the 3rd of September 2018, Robertson was appointed as Scotland captain by manager Alex McLeish. After a 2-1 defeat against Israel in October 2018, Robertson said that both he and fellow left-back Kieran Tierney were being played out of position in the 3-5-2 system, adopted by McLeish to accommodate both players. In a UEFA Euros 2020 qualifier against Cyprus on the 8th of June 2019, Robertson scored the opening goal of the game with a long-range strike, and Scotland eventually won the game 2-1. He was one of the 5 Scotland players to withdraw from the national team due to injury. That was in November 2019. And in November 2020, with Robertson again as captain, Scotland qualified for the UEFA Euros 2020, following a 5-4 win on penalties against Serbia. It was Scotland's first major tournament appearance since 1998, ending a 22-year streak of not qualifying. On the 14th of June 2021, Robertson captained Scotland in the first game of Euros 2020, but ended up on the losing side as the Scots lost 2-0 to the Czech Republic. Scotland were knocked out at the group stage, having lost to the Czechs and Croatia, either side of a goalless draw with England. In September that year, Robertson won his 50th cap, and thereby joining the Scottish FA International Roll of Honour. In his next appearance, he led the team to a 1-0 away win over Austria. Among his teammates was debutant substitute Paul McGinn, who had last played alongside Robertson almost 9 years earlier, when they were with Queen's Park in the 4th tier of Scottish football. He had been reunited at international level with another Queen's Park colleague in Lawrence Shankland in 2019. Defender 3, Reece James. On the 5th of October 2020, James was called up for the first time to the senior team by manager Gareth Southgate, following an injury to Raheem Sterling. He made his debut on the 8th of October at Wembley Stadium, coming on as the 58th minute substitute for Kieran Trippier in a 3-0 win over Wales. He was sent off for dissent after the final whistle, though, in his second start against Denmark. James was named in the 26-man England squad for Euros 2020. In November 2021, he said that he was in the best form of his career and that he hoped to become England's first choice right back. Very competitive space, though. Defender 4, Fikayo Tomori. I think he's the best centre-back England have. We should definitely be playing him more often, ahead of some of the current centre-backs, Maguire, that we currently have. On the 3rd of October 2019, Tomori received his first call-up to the England senior squad for the forthcoming Euro 2020 qualifying matches. He later said he was committed to playing for England, following interest from Nigeria and Canada, and he had previously represented Canada at youth level. And to be honest, I think he was born in Canada, so probably has a bit more links towards them, probably would have been started a lot more if he chose that path. Tomori made his debut for England now on the 17th of November 2019 against Kosovo in a UEFA Euro 2020 qualifier. Defender 5, Luke Shaw. I know he's been a bit iffy at Manchester United this year, but I think he does all right when he's in an England shirt, to be honest. On the 27th of February 2014, Shaw was called up to the England senior team for the first time for their friendly with Denmark. He made his debut in the match, replacing Ashley Cole at half-time. England won the match by 1-0. On the 12th of May 2014, Shaw was named in Roy Hodgson's 23-man squad for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. He was included at the expense of the experienced Cole, who retired from internationals as a result. He was England's second-choice left-back behind Leighton Baines and made his tournament debut in the last group match at a 0-0 draw with Costa Rica in Belo Horizonte. He also holds the accolade of being the youngest player to appear at the 2014 tournament. Shaw was included in the England squad for the UEFA Euros 2020. On the 11th of July 2021, Shaw scored the fastest ever goal in a European Championship final against Italy in the UEFA Euros 2020 final, with just 2 minutes on the clock. However, his early goal was not enough to give England their first major title in 55 years, as Italy emerged victorious in a penalty shootout after a 1-1 draw in extra time. Defender 6, I chucked him under the bus earlier, but Harry Maguire. he is all right in an England shirt. I don't think he's that bad. And there's not that many centre-backs which are good across the ball. You could probably replace him with Ben Davies, arguably. I think he does deserve a notable mention, Ben Davies. Also, top performance in the World Cup qualifier match. I think Wales' defence is amazing. I'd say watch out for them when it comes to World Cup, actually. I think might go far. On the 24th of August, though, 2017, England manager Gareth Southgate included Maguire in his squad for the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualification matches against Malta and Slovakia. He made his debut when starting in England's 1-0 away win over Lithuania, which was the team's final match in their successful World Cup qualification campaign. Maguire was named in the 23-man England squad for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. He assisted Harry Kane's winner against Tunisia on the 18th of June 2018 in England's World Cup opener. England won the game by 2-1, and Maguire scored his first England goal on the 7th of July with a 30th minute header from Ashley Young's cross in a 2-0 win over Sweden in the quarter-finals. At the Euros 2020, he played his first match against Czech Republic in the last fixture of the group stage. However, afterwards he featured in the round of 16 when England won 2-0 against Germany, for which he was awarded the star of the match. On the 3rd of July 2021, Maguire scored the second goal for England in a 4-0 win over Ukraine in the quarter-finals. Maguire started in the semi-finals against Denmark and in the final against Italy. England drew that match 1-1 after 120 minutes. In the resulting penalty shootout, Maguire scored England's second penalty. However, England would lose 3-2. His performances during the tournament earned him a place in the UEFA Euro 2020 team of the tournament. On the 15th of November 2021, Maguire scored the opening goal in a 10-0 victory over San Marino on the final day of the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualification, making him England's highest scoring defender with 7 goals, surpassing John Terry and Jack Charlton. Defender 7, Ben White. On the 25th of May 2021, White was named in England's provisional 33-man squad for the UEFA Euro 2020, with the tournament taking place in the summer of 2021 due to the previous year's postponement as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. This was White's first ever call-up to the national team at any level, and is one of 7 players cut from the squad on the 1st of June, although the players who were cut remained in the squad for 2 warm-up games against Austria and Romania. White made his England debut coming on as a substitute, replacing Jack Grealish in the 1-0 victory over Austria at the Riverside Stadium on the 2nd of June. He cleared a shot from Alessandro Schopf off the line, preventing a late equaliser. He became the 5th Brighton player to play for England and the 2nd in just under 3 years after Albion teammate and captain Lewis Dunk was capped in November 2018. He made his first start in the second and final warm-up match on the 6th of June, playing the whole match in a 1-0 victory over Romania, again playing at the Riverside Stadium. On the 7th of June, White was named in the 26-man squad for the Euro 2020 as a replacement for the injured Trent Alexander-Arnold. White remained unused in the tournament, where England finished as runners-up in the championships. However, Southgate praised the players who made no appearances, saying they are the ones making this team successful. Defender 8, Ben Chilwell. Along with his Leicester teammate Demarai Gray, Chilwell was called up from the under-21s team to the full England squad in September 2018 for a friendly against Switzerland. He made his debut in this match on the 11th of September as a 79th minute substitute for Danny Rose in a 1-0 home win. Upon taking to the pitch in the match at the King Power Stadium, he became the first England player to debut at his club ground since Paul Scholes at Old Trafford in 1997. Chilwell made his final start on the 12th of October in a goalless draw with Croatia in the 2018-19 UEFA Nations League A, in a match played behind closed doors. Chilwell was named in the 26-man England squad for the UEFA Euro 2020. On the 22nd of June 2021, Chilwell and fellow England player Mason Mount were forced to self-isolate after coming into contact with the Scotland player of Billy Gilmore, who tested positive for COVID-19 after England's 0-0 draw with Scotland at the tournament. On the 9th of October 2021, Chilwell scored his first international goal in a 5-0 away win during England's 2022 FIFA World Cup qualification match against Andorra. Defender 9, we're going out of England. We do rarely go out of England in this call-up. I think it's fairly obvious by the current success of the England squad why that is the case. But Kieran Tierney makes my team. Well, my squad anyhow. Tierney received his first call-up to the senior Scotland squad on the 10th of March 2016 for a friendly against Denmark. Tierney played for the first half of the match, which Scotland won 1-0 at Hampden Park, and he was replaced at the break by his Celtic teammate Charlie Mulgrew. Due to his greater adaptability compared to fellow left-back Andrew Robertson, Tierney was deployed at right-back in Scotland's matches against Slovenia, Lithuania and Slovakia, and on the left for three-man defence in a fixture at home to England during World Cup qualifiers in 2017. Tierney was selected as Scotland captain for a friendly match against the Netherlands in November 2017, where he played as a central defender in a 1-0 defeat. In October 2018, Tierney scored a decisive own goal in a 2-1 loss to Israel in the Nations League fixture. Speaking after the game, Robertson said that both he and Tierney were being played out of position in the 3-5-2 system adopted by Alex McLeish to accommodate both players. In November 2019, Tierney withdrew from the Scotland squad ahead of their UEFA Euro 2020 qualifiers against Cyprus and Kazakhstan due to a hip injury. In October 2020, he was required to pull out of the squad for the UEFA Euro 2020 playoff semi-final against Israel after being in close contact with Stuart Armstrong, who had tested positive for COVID-19. It was later confirmed by Armstrong, Tierney and Ryan Christie that they had been playing video games in the same room. Tierney provided 3 assists in a 4-0 win against the Faroe Islands on the 31st of March 2021, despite playing from a central defensive position. He scored his first goal for Scotland on the 24th of March 2022 in a friendly against Poland at Hampden. Defender 10, Tyrone Mings. Mings received his first England call-up in August 2019, when he was announced as part of the squad for the UEFA Euro 2020 qualifiers against Bulgaria and Kosovo. Mings earned his first senior England cap in a 6-0 win away to Bulgaria in October 2019, playing the entirety of the match. The match was overshadowed by racist chants from Bulgarian fans, which was reported by Mings to Captain Harry Kane, who then reported it to the referee. This activated standard UEFA protocol, which largely put a stop to the chanting. In June 2021, Mings was selected for the England squad for the UEFA Euro 2020 tournament. He started the opening match of the tournament, helping England keep a clean sheet in a 1-0 win against Croatia on the 13th of June at Wembley. He also started the following match against Scotland on the 18th of June, again helping England keep a clean sheet in a 0-0 draw. He came on as a second-half substitute in the final group match in a 1-0 win against the Czech Republic on the 22nd of June, as England finished top of Group D, qualifying for the knockout stages as a result. Following England's defeat on penalties in the final to Italy, 3 England players Marcus Rashford, Jadon Sancho and Bukayo Saka suffered online racist abuse after they had missed in the shootout. Home Secretary Patel tweeted that she was disgusted by it, with Mings then replying to her on Twitter, accusing her of encouraging the racist behaviour of the supporters after she had previously denounced the players' anti-racism message of taking the knee before the kick-off as gesture politics, and the supporters had a right to boo it. Mings' full tweet read, "You don't get to stoke the fire at the beginning of the tournament by labelling our anti-racism message as gesture politics, and then pretending to be disgusted when the very thing we're campaigning against happens." On the 15th of November 2021, Mings scored his first international goal in a 10-0 away victory in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualification victory over San Marino. Defender 10, Mark Guehi. Guehi captained the England national under-17 team at the UEFA European Under-17 Championship in May 2017. He played in every match at the competition, scoring an own goal in the opening 3-1 win against Norway, and England went on to lose on penalties to Spain in the final. In October 2017, he was included in the squad for the 2017 FIFA Under-17 World Cup. On the 28th of October, he scored the fourth goal in a 5-2 victory against Spain, as England were crowned world champions. In October 2018, Guehi progressed to the England Under-19 team and scored in a friendly against Portugal. He also scored in 2019 elite qualifiers, which means for European Championship qualifiers at under-19 levels, against the Czech Republic and Denmark. In August 2019, Guehi was included in an England Under-21 squad for the first time. On the 6th of September 2021, Lee Carsley confirmed Guehi as a captain of the England Under-21s. Guehi received his first call-up to the England senior team in March 2022 as part of Gareth Southgate's squad for friendly matches against Switzerland and Ivory Coast. He made his senior debut in a 2-1 win over Switzerland at Wembley Stadium on the 26th of March. On to midfield, although I would credit Ben Davies as being quite a good defender as one of them who could potentially have snuck in. And who's that Williams bloke from Wales as well? They are both quite good. Again, not really any of Ireland's players get sneaking there. Midfield 1, Phil Foden. On the 25th of August 2020, Gareth Southgate named Foden in the England senior squad for the first time. He made his international debut against Iceland on the 5th of September 2020 in a 1-0 away victory in the UEFA Nations League tournament. On the 7th of September, Foden, alongside England teammate Mason Greenwood, was withdrawn from the England squad due to breaking the team's COVID-19 isolation protocols by bringing at least one guest to their team hotel in Iceland. Manchester City also condemned Foden's actions. Foden scored his first and second goals for England during a UEFA Nations League match against Iceland at the Wembley Stadium on the 18th of November 2020. On the 1st of June 2021, Foden was named in the 26-man squad for the newly rescheduled UEFA Euro 2020. He joined up with the squad at a later date due to his participation in that year's UEFA Champions League final. On the 8th of June, Foden revealed that he had dyed his hair blonde, drawing comparisons to former England midfielder Paul Gascoigne, who also had a similar haircut for Euro 96. Foden said in a press conference on the same day that the full nation know what he means to the country and what he did, so it won't be too bad if I try to bring a bit of Gaza onto the pitch. Midfielder 2, Mason Mount. Following his impressive season with Vitesse, Mount was invited by manager Gareth Southgate to train with the senior team for a week ahead of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. He was called up to the senior team for the UEFA Nations League matches against Croatia and Spain in October 2018. Mount made his debut for the England senior team on the 7th of September 2019 as a 67th minute substitute in England's 4-0 home win over Bulgaria in UEFA Euro 2020 qualifying. He scored his first goal for England on the 18th of November in a 4-0 away win against Kosovo in a UEFA Euro 2020 qualifying game. Mount was named in the 26-man England squad for Euro 2020. On the 22nd of June 2021, Mount and fellow England player Ben Chilwell were forced to self-isolate after coming into contact with Scotland player Billy Gilmour, who tested positive for COVID-19 after England's 0-0 draw with Scotland at the tournament. Midfielder 3. This is the first one which you could either England or Ireland. I've gone with Declan Rice, who originally started off, of course, at Ireland's youth system and actually played friendlies for them until choosing that he was English. On the 23rd of May 2017, only days after his Premier League debut, Rice was named in Republic of Ireland squad to play friendlies against Mexico and Uruguay and a World Cup qualifier at home to Austria. He made his senior debut on the 23rd of March 2018 in a 1-0 defeat to Turkey. In August 2018, Rice was omitted from the squad to play Wales by manager Martin O'Neill, who said that Rice was considering switching to play for England after being approached by them. By November 2018, having been omitted from 3 squads selected by O'Neill, Rice said that he was no closer in deciding whether to play for Ireland or England. In December 2018, Rice met with new Ireland manager Mick McCarthy and his assistant Robbie Keane. McCarthy said that Rice was a potential future captain of Ireland and that he would build the team around Rice should he decide to play for the country. On the 13th of February 2019, though, Rice pledged his future to England. On the 5th of March, his change of allegiance was confirmed by FIFA. On the 13th of March, he was called up by England for their forthcoming UEFA Euro 2020 qualification match against the Czech Republic and Montenegro. He made his debut on the 22nd of March as a 63rd minute substitute against the Czech Republic at Wembley Stadium. On the 25th of March 2019, England manager Gareth Southgate handed Rice his first start from the national side during a 5-1 victory over Montenegro. Following Rice's successful season, he was handed a place in the England squad for the 2019 UEFA Nations League finals. In September 2019, Rice said that he had received online death threats after switching allegiance from Ireland to England. He was the first player to play for both countries since Jack Reynolds in the 1890s. Rice was named in the England squad for UEFA Euro 2020, and Rice played in all of England's 7 games in Euro 2020, where they lost in the final to Italy. Midfielder 4 Jude Bellingham. In November 2020, after James Ward-Prowse and Trent Alexander-Arnold withdrew through injury, Bellingham was called up to the England senior squad for the first time. He made his debut in a friendly against the Republic of Ireland at Wembley on the 12th of November, replacing Mason Mount after 73 minutes of a 3-0 win. At 17 years, 136 days, he became England's 3rd youngest full international, with only Theo Walcott and Wayne Rooney appearing at a younger age. Bellingham was named in the England squad for the UEFA Euro 2020 tournament, which was delayed until June 2021 because of a COVID-19 pandemic. When he came on as an 82nd minute substitute in England's opening match, a 1-0 win over Croatia at Wembley on the 13th of June, aged only 17 years and 349 days, he became both the youngest Englishman to play at any major tournament and the youngest of any nationality to play at a European Championship. The latter record, though, was broken by Poland's Kacper Kozłowski just 6 days later. Midfielder 5 Bukayo Saka. On the 1st of October, Saka was called up to the England senior squad for the first time and made his international debut as one of the starters in a 3-0 victory over Wales. Having played 4 times for England, Saka is now tied to England internationally and can no longer represent Nigeria. On the 1st of June 2021, he was named in the 26-man squad for the UEFA Euro 2020. On the 2nd of June, in a friendly against Austria, Saka scored his first senior international goal, the only goal in a 1-0 win. He started in England's 3rd Euro 2020 group stage match on the 22nd of June against the Czech Republic and was named the man of the match. On the 11th of July, in the tournament final against Italy, Saka was brought on as a substitute for Kieran Trippier. Following full time and extra time, Saka was chosen to take the team's 5th penalty, following a subsequent shootout. His first penalty kick at senior level, mind you. Saka's effort was saved by goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma, and as a result, Italy won the shootout and the tournament. Saka then faced racist abuse online after missing the penalty, and on the 15th of July, Saka said in an Instagram post that he knew instantly the kind of hate he was going to receive after his penalty was saved, adding, "And that is the sad reality for your powerful platforms and not doing enough to stop these messages." The final midfielder is going to be James Maddison for me. Maddison withdrew from the senior squad in October 2019 due to illness. He was later seen, though, visiting a casino, although his conduct was defended by club manager Brendan Rodgers. Maddison made his debut for England on the 14th of November when he came on for Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in the 56th minute of a 7-0 win over Montenegro in the UEFA Euro 2020 qualifying match. Some notable mentions certainly go to people like Aaron Ramsey for Wales, certainly a very good player. Jason Knight, I hope he'll one day will be able to make this. I think he's got an absolute potential going ahead of him in the Irish game, certainly. Can I think of anyone else really off the top of my head? There's James Ward-Prowse, could very much easily make it. It would have made it if it was an England 11, I imagine. Forward one, so on to the 6 forwards. I've gone with, well, obviously, Harry Kane. After a good run of form with Tottenham and being third top goal scorer in the Premier League with 16 goals, on the 19th of March 2015, Kane was named by manager Roy Hodgson in the England squad to face Lithuania in a UEFA Euro 2016 qualifying match and against Italy in a friendly. He made his international debut at Wembley Stadium, replacing Wayne Rooney in the second half against Lithuania, and scored just 80 seconds later with a header from a Raheem Sterling cross. On the 30th of March 2015, the day before the Italy match, Hodgson announced that Kane would start alongside Rooney, and he played the full 90 minutes of a 1-1 draw at Juventus Stadium. In his next appearance on the 5th of September 2015, substitute Kane scored 5th of England's 6 goals in a win over San Marino, which qualified them for UEFA Euro 2016. Kane scored his 3rd England goal against Switzerland in another qualifier 3 days later, which they won 2-0. On the 12th of October 2015, as England finished their qualification campaign with a 10th win from 10 matches, Kane's shot hit the post for an own goal by Lithuanian goalkeeper Giedrius Arlauskis, something like that, in a 3-0 away victory. On the 22nd of May 2016, Kane opened the scoring in a 2-1 friendly win over Turkey at the City of Manchester Stadium, but he did later miss a penalty. He was the first England player to fail to score a penalty during a game since Frank Lampard did in 2010, and the first to miss the target since Peter Crouch had done so in 2006. You're not going to live that down, mate. At the European Championship in France that June, Kane was assigned to take corner kicks, a tactic which was criticised by pundits, but defended by Hodgson, who said that Kane was the best for the role. On the 10th of June 2017, Kane captained England for the first time in their 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifier with Scotland at Hampden Park, scoring an added time equaliser to rescue a 2-2 draw. On the 5th of October, he scored an added time winner against Slovenia, which confirmed England's qualification to the 2018 FIFA World Cup. Kane was named in the 23-man England squad for the 2018 FIFA World Cup and was made captain. On the 18th of June, Kane scored both of England's goals in a 2-1 win over Tunisia, his winning goal coming deep in injury time. In the team's opening group game of the World Cup, and in the next group game of the 24th of June, Kane scored a hat-trick in England's 6-1 win over Panama, which was England's largest ever World Cup victory. With his 3 goals against Panama, Kane became the 3rd England player to score a hat-trick in a World Cup match, after Geoff Hurst against West Germany in the 1966 final, and Gary Lineker against Poland in 1986. Kane scored his 6th goal of the finals as England overcame Colombia in the round of 16, scoring a penalty in the match that finished 1-1 after 120 minutes. After scoring in the penalty shootout as England prevailed 4-3. This was the first time that England had managed to win a penalty shootout at the World Cup. Kane didn't score again though for the rest of the tournament as England finished in 4th place after losing 2-0 to Belgium in the 3rd place playoff. However, his 6 goals in the tournament did earn him the Golden Boot as a tournament's top goal scorer of a World Cup, and the first England player to win this award since Gary Lineker became the first to do so in the 1986 tournament. The September international break saw the introduction of the UEFA Nations League. England's first match was on the 8th of September 2018 against Spain, which Kane captained for the full 90 minutes. Sorry about that. In a game which saw England lose 2-1. On the 15th of October, England played Spain for a second time in the group, this time running out 3-2 winners, with Kane assisting 2 of the 3 goals. On the 14th of November, before a friendly against the US, Kane presented Wayne Rooney with England's Golden Boot in recognition of Rooney's 53 England goals, a record that makes him England's all-time top goal scorer. In an interview which followed the match, that ended in a 3-0 win for England, Rooney revealed that he wanted Harry Kane to present him the award, as he believed that Kane will one day beat it, and he certainly looks on track to doing it. 3 days after the US match, Kane captained England in their final Nations League group match against Croatia as the Three Lions won 2-1. Kane first assisted Jesse Lingard's equaliser and then scored the winning goal, which saw England top the group and qualify for the finals in June 2019. In the qualifying round of the UEFA Euro 2020, Kane captained the 1,000th match played by England and scored a hat-trick against Montenegro. This brought his tally to 31 goals, which placed him 6th in the all-time list of England's top goal scorers. But this is notable because it made him the highest ever scoring England captain. The 7-0 win also secured England's qualification to UEFA Euro 2020. Kane was in fine form throughout the qualifying process, becoming the first Englishman to score in every game in a qualifying campaign, registering a total of 12 goals, the joint most for an England player in a single year. In the round of 16 match on the 29th of June 2021, Kane scored the second goal against Germany. This was his first goal of the tournament, and the match resulted in a 2-0 victory for England. He scored a further 2 goals in the quarterfinals against Ukraine on the 3rd of July, and in the semi-finals against Denmark. Kane scored the winning goal in 2-1 triumph that secured England's place in the Euro 2020 final, the country's first final in a major competition since 1966, which they subsequently lost to Italy on penalties after a 1-1 draw in regular time. In the last 2 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers against Albanian San Marino, Kane scored back-to-back first-half hat-tricks, including a perfect hat-trick against the former and a poker against the latter, to help secure England's qualification to the 2022 FIFA World Cup Forward 2, I've gone with Raheem Sterling. Sterling made his senior debut for England on the 14th of November 2012, starting in a friendly away to Sweden. On the 5th of March 2014, Sterling earned his second cap and was named man of the match as England beat Denmark in a 1-0 friendly at Wembley Stadium. On the 12th of May 2014, Sterling was named in England's 23-man squad for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. In a pre-tournament friendly on the 4th of June against Ecuador in Miami, on his 4th cap, Sterling slid into Antonio Valencia, who then reacted by grabbing Sterling's neck, and they both received red cards for their actions. Valencia did later apologise for his reaction, and on the 14th of June, Sterling started in England's opening group match, which was a 2-1 loss to Italy in Manaus, and was rated as the team's best performing player by the BBC. On the 27th of March 2015, Sterling scored his first senior goal for England in a 4-0 UEFA Euro 2016 qualifier against Lithuania at Wembley Stadium. On the 9th of October 2015, Sterling scored his second goal of a qualifying campaign in a 2-0 victory against Estonia, by which point the team was already qualified. He was one of 23 players chosen for the final tournament. He was named in the 23-man England national team squad for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. After a run of 27 games without a goal for England, Sterling scored twice in a UEFA Nations League group game against Spain on the 15th of October 2018, and England went on to win the match 3-2. Sterling scored his first hat-trick for England on the 22nd of March 2019 in a 5-0 win over the Czech Republic at Wembley Stadium in a UEFA Euro 2020 qualifier. In October 2019, Sterling scored a brace in a 6-0 defeat of Bulgaria. Sterling's first goal of the game meant that he equalled a record held jointly by Eric Brook and Francis Lee of the most goals scored by a Manchester City player at 10. Sterling's second goal of the game meant that he became the sole record holder in this respect, although his second goal in the game was his 12th for England goal overall. It was his 11th as a Manchester City player. In November 2019, Sterling was dropped from the England team after clashing with international teammate but club rival Joe Gomez. On the 13th of June 2021, Sterling scored the only goal against Croatia to kick off England's UEFA Euro 2020 campaign with a winning start. On the 22nd of June, he also scored the only goal in a 1-0 win over the Czech Republic to help England finish top of Group D. On the 29th of June, he scored the first goal against Germany in the round of 16, and England won the game 2-0 and progressed to the quarter-finals. On the 7th of July, during England's semi-final game against Denmark, Sterling won a penalty in extra time when the score was 1-1. He was accused of diving in this incident by ex-Liverpool/Manchester City player Dietmar Hamann and on social media. The penalty was saved, but the rebound was scored by Harry Kane for England to progress to the final. He was later named in the team of the tournament as England lost the final on penalties to Italy. Forward 3, Jack Grealish. Irish stroke English, this one again. Although he never actually appeared for the first team for Ireland, only their youth team this time. On the 31st of August 2020, for the first time, Grealish was called up to the senior England squad for the UEFA Nations League fixtures against Iceland and Denmark. On the 8th of September, he made his senior debut as a 76-minute substitute in a 0-0 draw against Denmark. On the 1st of June 2021, Grealish was named in the 26-man squad for the newly rescheduled UEFA Euro 2020. On the 29th of June, in the round of 16 match against Germany, Grealish was introduced as a substitute in the 68th minute and contributed directly to both goals in a 2-0 win, playing in Luke Shaw to assist Raheem Sterling and crossing for Harry Kane to head in late in the match. On the 9th of October 2021, Grealish scored his first international goal after being introduced as a substitute in the 73rd minute during England's 2022 FIFA World Cup qualification match against Andorra. Forward 4, Jadon Sancho. Following an impressive start to the 2018-19 season, Sancho was called up to the England senior squad for the first time on the 4th of October 2018 in preparation for the UEFA Nations League fixtures against Croatia and Spain. He made his debut as a 78th minute substitute against Croatia on the 12th of October in a 0-0 away draw. On the 22nd of March 2019, Sancho started his first competitive match for England in the 5-0 win over the Czech Republic at Wembley Stadium for a UEFA Euro 2020 qualifying match. During the September internationals, Sancho scored his debut goal for the senior team with a brace in a 5-3 home victory over Kosovo in a Euro 2020 qualifier on the 10th of September. On the 11th of July 2021, Sancho was brought on as a 120th minute substitute for Kyle Walker during the UEFA Euro 2020 final against Italy. He took England's fourth penalty shootout, which was saved by. Following the 3-2 loss on penalties, Sancho, along with Marcus Rashford and Bukayo Saka, was subjected to racially abusive messages on social media. Forward 5, Gareth Bale. I had to include him. He's the first Wales one on the list, actually, despite Wales probably being a better team than Scotland if you look at it on paper at the moment. But I think that's more because they've got a better team spirit rather than individual players. Bale was actually first selected by Wales at the end of the 2005-06 season for a friendly against Trinidad and Tobago on the 27th of May 2016. In the match in Graz, Austria, he replaced David Vaughan after 55 minutes and assisted Robert Earnshaw's winning goal in a 2-1 victory. At 16 years and 315 days old, Bale became the youngest player to play for Wales, breaking a record held by Lewin Nyandanga, who set that 3 months earlier. This record was itself superseded by Harry Wilson in October 2013. Wales youth guru Brian Flynn commented that Bale was potentially a future star of the game, comparing his technical ability to that of Ryan Giggs. On the 7th of October 2006, Bale became the youngest ever goalscorer for the senior national team, scoring Harolds but by a free kick in a Euro 2008 qualification match against Slovakia. After a long injury layoff, he returned and started in the World Cup qualifier against Finland on the 10th of October 2009. On the 14th of October, he played a part in Wales' final World Cup qualifier by setting up David Vaughan to score the opening goal against Liechtenstein and won a free kick that led to the second, and Ramsey's first at senior level. In December 2010, Bale was awarded the BBC Cymru, or Cymru, I think it is, the Sports Personality of the Year trophy. On the 12th of October 2012, Bale scored both goals for Wales in a 2-1 victory over Scotland in the 2014 World Cup qualifier. It won his 100th Wales cap during a World Cup qualifying match on the 30th November 2021 against Belarus at the Cardiff City Stadium, where he played 45 minutes, being substituted at half-time. No idea why that's there in the notes. On the 9th of September 2014, Bale scored 2 goals, one with a header and another with a free kick, as Wales beat Andorra 2-1 in their first match of the UEFA Euro 2016 qualifying campaign. In doing so, he became Wales' joint 10th all-time top scorer with 14 goals, alongside John Hartson. Bale scored 2 goals on the 28th of March 2015 in a 3-0 win away in Israel. On the 12th of June, his 50th cap, he scored the only goal to defeat Belgium in a home qualifier, taking Wales above the Belgians to the top of Group B. He headed Jazz Richards' cross on the 3rd of September in a 1-0 win away over Cyprus, putting Wales 3 points away from qualification. With qualification to UEFA Euro 2016 achieved, the country's first major final since the 1958 FIFA World Cup, on the 30th of October 2015, Bale scored his 7th goal of a qualifying campaign in Wales' final qualifier against Andorra at the Cardiff City Stadium. On the 11th of June, Bale scored the first goal in Wales' clash with Slovakia in their opening game of the UEFA Euros 2016 from a free kick, helping his country secure a 2-1 win and in the process lead them to their first win in a tournament in 58 years. His goal saw him become the first Welsh player to score at a major international tournament since Terry Medwin's goal against Hungary at the 1958 FIFA World Cup. He then followed this up by scoring another opening free kick goal against England in the second group game, though Wales went on to lose the game 2-1. This made Bale the first player to score 2 free kicks at a European Championship since Germany's Thomas Hasler in 1992. Bale scored his 3rd goal of the tournament in a 3-0 win over Russia, making him their all-time top scorer in major tournaments, ahead of Ivor Allchurch, who scored twice in the 1958 World Cup. He also helped create the second goal of the match, which was scored by Neil Taylor. In the last 16 against Northern Ireland at the Parc des Princes, Bale sent in the cross, from which Gareth McAuley scored an own goal to give the Welsh the victory. Wales were eliminated following a 2-0 defeat at eventual champions Portugal in the semi-finals of the tournament on the 6th of July. On the 5th of September 2016, Bale scored twice in a 4-0 win over Moldova in the 2018 FIFA World Cup qualification game. This brought him to 24 international goals, surpassing both Ivor Allchurch and Trevor Ford, and behind only Ian Rush's 28. On the 22nd of March 2018, with 29 goals, Bale became Wales' all-time top scorer, surpassing Ian Rush's 28, thanks to his first hat-trick in his international career in a 2018 China Cup match against China. In May 2021, he was selected as captain of a Wales squad for the delayed UEFA Euro 2020 tournament. At the finals, he provided the assist for Aaron Ramsey and Connor Roberts' goals in Wales' second group match of the 16th of June, a 2-0 win over Turkey. He helped his country qualify for the round of 16, in which they were beaten 4-0 by Denmark. On the 24th of March 2022, Bale scored 2 goals in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifying playoff semi-finals in a 2-1 win against Austria, which sent Wales to the playoff final. In the playoff final against Ukraine on the 5th of June, delayed due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine early in the year, Bale's free kick was deflected into the net by Ukraine's captain Andriy Yarmolenko, giving Wales the lone goal in a 1-0 victory. Wales qualified for World Cup then for the first time since 1958, and Bale called it the greatest result in the history for Welsh football, and further that it means everything. It is what dreams are made of. The Guardian opined on the occasion, but what can be said now is that nobody has ever achieved more in a Wales shirt. And the final player I'm calling for my 26-man squad is going to be Tammy Abraham. On the 2nd of November 2017, Abraham was one of 3 uncapped players called up to the senior England team for friendlies against Germany and Brazil. He made his debut against the former on the 10th of November, starting in a 0-0 draw at Wembley Stadium. In October 2019, he said he remained undecided on his international future, as he remained eligible for Nigeria, as he had not played a competitive fixture for England's senior side. Later that month, though, he received a call-up to the England squad for the forthcoming UEFA Euro 2020 qualifying matches. On the 11th of October, Abraham made his first competitive appearance for England against the Czech Republic, appearing as a substitute and committing himself to England in the process. Abraham scored his first goal for England on the 14th of November 2019 in a 7-0 win over Montenegro in the Euro 2020 qualifying. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you're new around here, and I hope you very much enjoyed it. Thinking of potentially maybe doing this with a few other clubs, well, countries that formerly maybe have existed. USSR, Yugoslavia, couple to name would be quite an interesting ones I'd like to do. Let me know in the comments down below which one you would like to see, if there's any of gone, Czechoslovakia maybe, something like that. And also leave your starting 11 from either players named or your own players from UK. But that is the end of this video. So goodbye for now.